traffickers, certified loot stackers, scammers, counterfeiters, and a few hackers. Show you how to hit lace off on blue badges. I won't say in a whip that don't have a few cameras. Nigga, I was more than a gun manufacturer. Was a coup d'etat funded, putting hits on Clue Clanners. Niggas in the motherland call us the new Panthers.
What's going on, black people? Welcome to another unlawful arrest prevention video. Today's video is a little different, but it allows me to make some more nuanced points. The driver, or the victim in this video, seems to be a white boy who has done his research on traffic law and is aware of his rights. Even though, in the end, he successfully outsmarts and embarrasses the cops, I want to advise against his strategy, or at least explain how you should act differently in a similar situation. The cops here are clearly just trying to get their arrest for the night. My main issue with the driver in this video is that he is trying to expose them for doing a sloppy job. On this channel, we aren't encouraging you to show the police how much you understand the law for its own sake. No matter how smart you think you are, the police are way smarter at finding ways to trick and illegally arrest black people. Therefore, your goal should either be to shorten the interaction with the police as much as possible so you can be on your way, or if you are willing to play the long game to punish them financially, you should act as ignorant of the law as you can and allow them to make as many mistakes as possible. Then prove to them how much you know about your rights when you bring a lawsuit.
Alright, so while the cops are pursuing the vehicle, let me get into the intro real quick. On this channel, we analyze crowdsourced videos of traffic stops and arrests in order to educate citizens on the ways that law enforcement officers may break legal protocol. Our goal is to prepare our viewers, should they end up the victim of an illegal traffic stop or an unlawful arrest, to place themselves in an advantageous position to later bring a civil suit against the police for violating their constitutional rights. These videos are an educational tool. They show tactics that cops most commonly use during the course of an unlawful arrest, and they show the mistakes that victims usually make under pressure. We hope that by better understanding when a cop has stepped beyond the bounds of law and how one should strategically respond, victims of unlawful arrest will be more likely to bring successful suits against police departments and win large payouts. And, as always, before we get into it, we got 3 disclaimers. 1. I'm not an attorney. Please contact an attorney if you have an urgent legal matter. If you need help finding an attorney in your area, please submit a claim through unlawfularrestprevention.org, and we will do our best to help you find representation. 2. Unlawful arrest prevention and any videos associated with it are not for the criminally minded and are intended to help ensure legal recourse for citizens who become the victims of a civil rights violation. 3. Never, under any circumstances, tell a police officer that you are going to sue him during the course of a traffic stop or arrest.
Hey man, Officer Staver, Holly Springs, how are you?
Doing good, about yourself?
Good, man. 2 reasons I pulled you over. 1, you have no tag lights on the vehicle. Also, back there on Hickory Road, you almost went in that ditch, man.
You went in the ditch?
I say you almost went into the ditch, but I say you went over the white line, and I mean, you were probably 6 inches from going down that little gully. Anyway, you have a driver's license, man?
Yep.
Where are you coming from tonight?
Friend's house?
Where's he live? Or she?
I don't know the actual address.
Woodstock, Canton.
Yeah, I mean, like 2 minutes down that road that way.
I got you. You drink it all tonight?
Not gonna answer that question.
Not gonna answer that question? Okay, good deal.
Can I check the tail lights?
Can you? No, I say not yet. It's not the tail lights, it's the tag lights.
Tag lights.
Code 4. All right. I'll be right back with you, man.
Yep.
Alright, so what I really want to focus on in this video is what happens when the DUI expert arrives on the scene. So I'm going to speed through everything real quick so we can get to that part. DUI expert comes and starts tripping and tries to do all kind of sneaky illegal stuff, and that's what I would like to talk about most. But while we wait for him to arrive, let me explain some other things real quick.
Okay, so the driver is correct here. He does not legally need to answer the police officer's question, have you been drinking? But the driver technically doesn't need to answer any questions. He already answered the cop's first 2 questions normally. Where are you coming from? Where was your friend's house? He only refused to answer any questions when the cop asked if he had been drinking. In my opinion, all the driver is really doing is trying to show the cops that he's smarter than them or that he understands the law better than they do. If you want to prove to the cops that you understand the law, do that by filing a lawsuit later. There really is no reason why the driver should not have just said, "No, officer, I have not been drinking." I repeat, the right answer is always, "No, officer, I have not been drinking." If the cop begins to ask related questions like, "Was there alcohol at your friend's house?" or something like that, you can say, "I am not answering any more questions." And if it progresses from there, or in other words, if the cop continues to ask more leading questions even after you say that, just remember the phrase, "I am not answering any more questions without a lawyer present." And repeat the phrase, "I am not answering any more questions without a lawyer present." In fact, that's something you should say to yourself out loud, say to yourself in your head, so that it's always at the front of your mind if you ever need it. There are 2 reasons for this, and I'm going to breeze over them real quick. 1, you never want to be the first one to break the social code, or initiate any feelings of open hostility. By refusing to answer the drinking question instead of just saying no, the driver was the first to be openly confrontational, which is something you want to force the cop to do. 2. The Supreme Court has ruled many times that a cop cannot infer guilt from the particulars of the moment at which you choose to remain silent. That basically means that if the moment at which you choose to stop answering questions is what the cop bases his suspicions on, he'll later be forced to come up with another lie or another reason for why he detained you, or any good lawyer could just get the case dismissed.
Asked me if he's drinking tonight. He says I refuse to answer that question. Asked him where he's coming from. Says friend's house. So, okay, where's that located? I don't know. So.
What's his name?
Ashton Woolen.
How old is he?
28.
How old is he?
28. But more or less you're here because of the failure to maintain lane, and he's not answering if he drank. Want me to kill the fronts?
How you doing, sir?
Doing all right.
Officer Adams, Holly Springs. The reason I'm out here is because of the observed driving behavior and everything else. I specialize in doing DUI investigations. So I got a couple of questions for you.
Okay. I'm not going to answer any of them.
Okay, so do you just want to go to jail?
No.
Okay. So
I just don't have any obligation to answer any questions.
You don't?
Okay, I'm gonna pause here real quick just to re-emphasize something important. Even if you know that you're sober or are absolutely confident that you are below the legal limit, it is still better to say, no, I was not drinking. If the cop then presses for more information, that is when you refuse to answer any more questions. If you want to catch the cops breaking protocol, you don't alert them that you know about the laws right there. Let them know that you know what your rights are when you file the lawsuit. Like the saying goes, when you see your enemy making a mistake, don't interrupt them. Because your goal is not to teach the cops to be more clever at unlawfully arresting people. And your goal is not to teach the cops how to be more sneaky when conducting DUI stops. The goal is to punish them financially later on, because that's the only way that anything will really change.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you anyway. Have you been drinking tonight?
I'm not going to answer any of your questions.
Okay. Are you willing to do some field sobriety evaluations?
Absolutely not. Most people fail those sober.
All right. So, then you know what we're getting ready to do?
No.
I'm getting ready to place you under arrest for DUI. I'm going to read Georgia implied consent. We'll just go ahead and take you on up and get blood drawn.
I'll do a breathalyzer.
You want to do a breathalyzer?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
But I'm just not doing the test because most people fail those sober.
Alright, just so it doesn't seem like I'm skipping over certain things, let me say this. There is an entirely different way I can analyze this video, basically telling you how to respond if you actually have been drinking and driving. If that's what you want to learn about, just call a defense attorney, pay for a consultation in exchange for the education. But I'm not going to get into all of that on this channel. Most of the advice would be the same anyways, and I just don't support that practice. Even when I worked logistics, we tested all of our drivers internally and imposed pretty harsh penalties if any drivers were even attempting to do that. What I'm focusing on here is how you should respond when you've broken no laws and the cops are just trying to find a reason to arrest you.
I've tried them sober.
Actually, you want to know something? I just did a set not right down the street, and dude didn't go to jail. They're scientifically proven. And you know why you can't prove them? Because you can't control one of them. I know people. Oh, thanks. Are you recording?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. I know I'm recording you, so it's fine. I know people believe that they know what they're talking about, but they're not. So, if you haven't been drinking, there should be absolutely no problem dealing with anything.
I'm gonna keep it simple. 3 things. 1. Everything the cop just said about scientifically proven or whatever was made up bullshit and didn't make any sense. Never agree to do a field sobriety test. Even if you do it perfectly, the cop can still say you failed. I repeat, even if you are sober, never agree to do a field sobriety test. That brings us to number 2. Always request a breathalyzer. You have the right to do that, and cops can't really control or tamper with the results of one of those. Even if the breathalyzer mistakenly reads that you're above the legal limit, a good defense attorney could create a lot of work for the police by requesting evidence that their breathalyzers are properly maintained and regularly recalibrated. Usually, breathalyzers are not properly maintained or calibrated, and a lawyer can then get it thrown out as evidence. Finally, that brings us to 3. Never agree to have your blood drawn at the police station. If the cops want to take your blood, let them know that they have to arrest you because you don't consent to having blood drawn. You don't really want the cops taking samples of your life force and your DNA anyways. The DUI expert did something sneaky here, and I don't want you to miss it. When the driver said he wouldn't do a field sobriety test, the cop skipped over the breathalyzer option and immediately said, "We'll have to arrest you and take blood." Remember, like the driver did, to always request the breathalyzer.
But once you get out of your vehicle, I'm gonna need you to leave your phone in your truck. You can face it toward us, whatever direction, but as far as the safety thing goes, I don't want it while we're dealing with other stuff because I need your hands free.
I understand that.
All right, so you're gonna step out for me?
To do a breathalyzer?
If that's the one that you want to do, sure.
Yeah, I'm not going to do the foot up and all that stuff.
No. So, do you mind if I check your eyes?
Prefer if you didn't.
Okay. All right. Well, that being the case, go ahead and find a place to put your phone where it's the most comfortable for you.
And put it in my pocket?
I don't care as long as you can't make a phone call, because the last thing that I want you to do is to start calling people to show up out here.
Yeah, absolutely. I understand that.
All right. You can stick it.
Unsafe for you or anything.
You can stick it in your phone. That's perfectly fine. Or your pocket.
So you really would not do fields.
He won't do fields, but he's agreed to do the PBT.
Alright, so all that happens next is the driver gets out of his car, goes back to the police officer's car to do the breathalyzer test. We're going to cut right to that because that's when the DUI expert starts doing all kind of crazy lying and backtracking.
Ever done one of these before? So you're not familiar with the procedure? Alright. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a deep breath, going to put your lips around the tube and seal it. You're going to blow out like you're trying to blow up a balloon.
Yep.
Strong and steady. Okay? You ready? Blow, 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 blow. Thank you.
Alright, I'm pausing here so everybody can see that the driver has blown a .009 on the breathalyzer. Every state is a little different, but there is no state in America where .009 is even close to the legal blood alcohol content limit. Essentially, for lack of a better word, what this reading shows is that the driver is completely sober. Watch what the cop does next, even though the driver has passed the breathalyzer test.
Well, you definitely have had a little bit of alcohol tonight.
Okay.
But we already know that, don't we?
Okay.
Yeah. Are you where you shouldn't be driving? Probably not.
I know that. Otherwise I wouldn't be driving.
Well, I'm glad that you know that. But with the presence of alcohol and the observed driving behaviors, we can't recommend that you continue driving your vehicle.
Alright, after this, I'm gonna let the video play out to the end, but I don't want this moment to go over anybody's head. I feel like this is almost the whole point of the video anyways. The cop is still trying to find a way to punish the driver, even though he's supposed to let him leave now. The cop's whole speech about not being able to recommend that he keep driving because of observed behavior has no basis in traffic or criminal law, so the cop is just making up lies. Clearly, he's trying to manufacture a situation where the driver has to call a tow truck for his car and get a friend to take him home. That would basically just ruin the driver's night. Plus, most police departments have relationships with the tow truck companies in their city. Even though this is unlawful, the cop feels his power has been undermined, and now he just wants to get back at the driver however he can. Why am I highlighting this particular moment? Because I think one of the main takeaways from this video should be how important it is that everybody understand how easily, sloppily, and quickly cops will tell any number of lies just to manufacture an arrest or just to make your life more difficult when they can't do anything else. This is where you stop answering questions, film if you can, and allow the cop to make as many mistakes as possible, since at this point, emotion is driving him further and further from protocol. You don't need to antagonize the cop or gloat over your victory. What you want is to get out of there as soon as possible, and while you are still detained, allow the cop to keep making mistakes on camera. So like I said, cops will lie quickly, easily. In fact, they will freestyle lie on the spot just to inconvenience you when they can't do anything else.
You see what I'm saying? That's where the problem comes in. This is not about you going to jail. This is making sure that you're safe. According to the observed behavior that Officer Staber saw, you almost ended up in a ditch.
That is such hearsay.
Would you like me to go pull the video?
Sure.
We can go create a video right now and be more than happy to watch it.
Okay.
All right. So,
I mean, I promise I'm not trying to be
no, right now,
confrontational,
that's
whatever.
exactly what you're doing. Okay. What I'm telling you is everything that you're doing creates suspicion on our part. Okay?
By respecting my own privacy and my rights is suspicious?
by the questions that we ask and the circumstances when it comes to safety, it does create a little bit of suspicion on our part.
It shouldn't. I wish it didn't, but it does.
But it does, because we have a job to do. Our job is to keep everybody else out here safe. The unfortunate part is, statistically speaking, people that are involved in car accidents that are drunk kill people but don't get injured themselves.
I know.
Okay? So you can understand why it is a big deal for us to find out exactly where we stand.
I understand.
Okay.
That's why I'm totally happy to do the breathalyzer, and I mean, I agree.
So, based on what you know about everything else, you should also know that this isn't admissible. It's not admissible in court. This value doesn't stand up. You know why? Because there's factors that can create problems. So, the only real way to find out what your alcohol content is to do the state administered chemical test. See what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, what I'm telling you is there's more to it than what you believe. Okay. Right now, I'm just trying to be informative. Okay. Whatever Officer Stager wants to do at this point is perfectly fine. I can tell you that you aren't close enough to the legal limit for me to warrant not allowing you to drive.
Okay, so you heard the cop tell the driver, your breathalyzer test is not close enough to the legal blood alcohol content limit for me to prevent you from driving your car home. So boom, it should all be over right there, and the driver should be able to be on his way. But this goes back to my earlier point about being prepared for the ways that cops lie. The driver is doing a good job saying nothing right now, trying to be more amicable, giving the cop an opportunity to lecture him, and allowing the cop to regain his sense of self-importance. But just so we are clear, the cop is freestyle lying, and some of the legal facts he is dropping at this moment are pure word salad nonsense.
I wouldn't drive if I wasn't.
I'm glad that you believe that, but your insistence to me, I'm sorry, isn't enough to make me feel better about that. Your abilities that you believe aren't good enough for me. I need physical proof. It's like what you were talking about hearsay. See what I'm saying?
Yep.
So what you believe is irrelevant. What I can prove is. Now, I can prove that you're capable, but your behavior doesn't. You see what I'm saying? That's what okay.
I just want to point out that the driver is behaving correctly. The cop is making things up now, and most of it is pretty incoherent. After each lie, he asks the driver, see what I'm saying? At this point, the driver is correct to just keep responding with, yep. The cop has departed from reason or thinking, and so there is no point in arguing. We all know how the driver really feels, but he just says yep.
So, but as long as he's good with it, you can hop back in your vehicle. And I'm sure he's going to have some paperwork for you or something with him.
All right. You hop back in. Can I get a business card before, if you're leaving? Can I get a business card from you, or just get it from him and use that?
Everything's going to be on the side. Why? You want my name?
Okay, I'll have both of y'all.
Hey, you want my name?
Sure, I'm not going to remember it. That's why.
That's fine. My name's Officer Mike Adams.
Okay.
My badge number is 230. You can try to stalk me on Facebook if you would like, but unfortunately, I do not have Facebook.
just documenting. I have no issues, no complaints. I'm
just telling you, because usually people believe that they can get our names and then look us up on Facebook. I don't have Facebook.
No.
So, I mean, I have no problem giving you my name. I'm not going to give you my personal phone number, but the phone number for the police department will be located.
Or the business card, just for documentation. Yeah. I can never read on the paperwork.
Well, it's printed on there, and I will write my name personally on the citations that you get.
Thank you, sir.
All right?
Can I get back in? Yeah, you can get back in your truck.
Would you like a highlighter to highlight your name?
Still citing him for the flavor of maintain.
Oh, absolutely.
Either way.
Yeah.
I mean, he literally, I don't know if I hit the record, but I know that because it goes, whatever, a minute or so before I hit record.
If you didn't, go back and do
record after the fact.
Yeah.
No,
you want to write my name on there too?
Yes. actual tail lights, or the tag lights, if you look, they are there, but they're just super dim.
Yeah.
So he's got a warning. Tag light.
Yeah.
I just don't understand, man. It's just like, you could just say yes, and you do that. I'm done. That's it.
People spend entirely too much time online, and they are roadside attorneys.
I get that. I mean, it just makes our job harder, and it doesn't improve any outcomes.
But you know, and that's the unfortunate part is that
Have a safe evening.
in his we're not. He's safe to be driving. He did the PBT, but if he had known that the fields are actually more accurate than the PBT, so, and they're admissible.
Alright, I'm gonna cut the audio right here. Thanks for tuning in to another unlawful arrest prevention video. If you watch this video, 3 things to remember are: 1. After you say you haven't been drinking, just practice repeating the phrase, "I am not answering any more questions." 2. Never agree to do a field sobriety test. Always request a breathalyzer. 3. Cops lie extremely often, so don't allow their lies or the things that they make up to cause you to stray from your training or to make you doubt what you know about your own rights. The more you simulate these interactions in your head, the more you study the ways that cops lie, the better prepared you will be should a cop try to unlawfully arrest or detain you. If you would like to submit a video or need help finding representation in your state, please contact us on unlawfularrestprevention.org or email us at uap@unlawfularrestprevention.org. Our organization not only hopes to prevent unlawful stops, searches, and arrests of black people, but to provide guidance on how one should act in such situations in order to either get false charges dropped or to win a civil suit against the police. Yes, knowledge is power, but this type of knowledge has to be rehearsed many times and internalized in order to be effective in practice. The Tesla is too easy to trace. She ain't have a kid by me, she too easy to replace. I collect abandoned beasts from the wild that can't be trained. I'm a bandit beast myself, I can't be tamed. How you holler revolution and you don't mention my name? New Che, young Mandela, I am not no OJ. Young Cocker high, shred the prosecution, whole case. Put a nigga on a plane, then fly him out the states. How you holler independence and don't mention 4K? Percy Miller in his prime, I'm the tall Lil J. Might have moved a few things, I ain't never touched no yay. From Durban to Mozambique, blowing loud.